Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Studio Talk. In this one, we have a good one. We will go through our track called Emotions in Acid with producer Asteroid. It's a good one. I love it. It was one of the best tracks we have made for this year. I have played it everywhere I go. The reaction was always awesome. And it's a little bit special because it's a great mix of our style and Asteroid style. So let's dive into it. Let's go. I'm gonna pause it right here. So basically, when we started this collaboration, I contacted Matt Asteroid and I asked him if he wants to do a collab, because this track was basically written in full as a demo version. So basic sounds, basic layering, basic drums, you know, stuff like this. I sent him this demo and I asked him if he could make it sound like his Stoneface Terminal remix with that huge Reese bass. And he loved that idea. And he sent me an amazing bass, he sent me an amazing leads, he tweaked the acid sounds here and there, he made really good changes, so thank you, Matt, I really love what you did. For the sake of keeping his knowledge hidden, I rendered his Reese bass and his leads as a WAV file, so we're not gonna really talk about those, but I'm gonna show you what I did to the WAV file itself. So we're gonna start with the kick and bass, kick and sub bass. The easiest sub bass there is, constantly playing and just heavy sidechain. I think I use Serum, yep. The preset is called Psy EDM, it's from Seven Skies. Just making sure it's mono, you know, basic EQ, so it works with the kick. My favorite VCA compressor from Softube, it works amazing for low frequencies. LFO tool and Soothe 2 with the melodic bass control kick. Which what it does is, it's attenuating the frequencies of the kick while the kick is playing. So you need to make sure that the sidechain selection is on and you're actually sending your kick there. As you can see, every time the kick hits, it's gonna dip the frequencies a little bit so it creates more space for the kick itself. And just utility for, you know, basic gain knowledge. The kick, it's rendered down as WAV file, but I think it's Dave Parkinson kick. Nothing on it. But the bass itself, there is a Transub Glue preset. TubeTech multi-band compressor with the mix bus punch preset, tweaked a little bit just to make sure everything is as audible as possible, and Softube clipper, which is basically clipping the peaks, the quick attack peaks from the kick itself. So when you will be limiting it later, those peaks will not be triggering the limiter and the compressor and all my analog gear. It's a really good habit to get into because those peaks can be quite deadly when it comes to mixing and mastering, and you need to make sure they are attenuated, you know. So basically what the clipper will do, clipper will lower the peaks a little bit, but the overall loudness will stay the same or higher. So it's really difficult to hear it in the track, but you can see it on the oscilloscope, and you can see it on the analog gear, and you can see it on the compressor knob when you're doing this. So it makes sense to get into habit of clipping almost everything, you know, including bass, including drums, including leads, but we will get into it. And there is auto filtering going on, for example here. Let me play it in full. Just a little bit. You know, to make it more interesting when you're going from section to section. This is basically Matt's bass. I can tell you it's two layers, one is in mono, one is in stereo, to make it sound like this. I just made sure, you know, it's EQ'd properly, so nothing below 100 Hz because you don't really need that energy there. Clipper, again, clipping a little bit from the bass. Softube widener, air and width preset, just, you know, to make it a little bit wider towards the higher end and higher frequencies. Again, basic filtering, another EQ just rolling down the top end, and duck for sidechaining. So basically the kick is triggering the duck plugin to sidechain, you know, it's a multi-band sidechaining with a little bit of lows and highs set to 50%, and it's being triggered by the kick. You know, as easy as it is. There are a few effects here, Driftmoon build, Driftmoon fill, the drum bass. Oh, I totally forgot to tell you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the bass itself, it's being sent to bass reverb, because for Reese basses it's always a good idea to give them a little bit of space, give them a little bit of reverb. So I am actually sending it to a send channel which has got Arturia, yes, 1973 preamp and super plate from Softube. So it sounds like this. When we get to the drums, you know, as straightforward as they can be, you know, there is a little bit of shaper box, EQ on the heads, EQ on the claps, EQ on the closed heads. Let me check what the shaper box is doing actually here. Oh yeah, the drum has a plugin. Oh yay, new shaper box. So you can see at the end, it's adding that little bit of extra drive to make it a little bit more interesting. Nothing on the right, shaper box on the percussion as well. That should be only in the build-up yet. Subtle thin bright, adding noise here and there. Open hats, we have the smart EQ there, hats left, hats right. Oh yeah, for this particular track I split my hats to left and right. Let me check. Do I need to delete the smart EQ? This is playing on the right side. This is playing on the left side. This is in the middle. Just a little bit of delay, 1.4.it, 1.8.it from Arturia. Yeah, I think so, Arturia. When we go, what do we have? Acids. Oh yeah, acids. Is it Spire? Preset is called Subgravel. I think it's from Alan Watts' or Shantayasis. We have Kelvin. Oh, I love that Kelvin for saturation. Clipper, Duck, Valhalla Vintage Verb, Homestar Runner 2049, a reference to Blade Runner. Now, and in context of the full track, and Matt's 303, yeah. So this is basically what he sent me. We added Kelvin, Echo, speaking out of experience, it's a really good idea to, you know, make sure that the left and right echo or the left and right delay is not timed properly, because you are adding a human element to it. So in Ableton you can do it really easily. You just, you know, tweak this knob and you can see how it's moving off the grid. Now I'm gonna make it more audible. So yeah, you're gonna do it like this. Then we have Clipper there, parallel distortion, compressor, and EQ again. Vocal, not sure about this in the break. Yeah, but it works in the build. It's basically a sample I think Mika found on Splice and we just played with it. When we go to our pet sounds, should be all Omnisphere here. Omni 1, Omni 2, Omni 3. Let me play you the presets. Add a choir, air glass. Are those Zimmer strings? Adagio? Yeah, Hollywood Studio string section. And third one, the glass pad, yeah. Bell of San Elmos. So those three pads is what's making the pads in Emotions in Acid. We have UAD oxide tape. Again, Sooth 2 just to get rid of the digital harshness. Sometimes you can get it from Omnisphere. Soft-tube bus processor. RC20. RC20 is a really good plugin. I think I talked about it in a previous video, which basically it's adding the retro analog vintage color to your digital signal. Especially with some of the synths, they can sound really aggressive and really digital. It's always a good idea to add a little bit of analogness to them. You know, just so it doesn't sound so damn digital. Especially Spire. Spire can get so ugly sometimes in a mix when you don't treat it correctly. Just be careful not to overdo it with the noise and the wobble knob, otherwise it's gonna sound, you know, atrocious. So a little bit of distortion, a little bit of space and magnetic. Basic EQ, we have Duck and Valhalla Vintage Verb, Cathedral Synth Hall. 4-second decay is all you need, you know. Just remember to high pass it around 1000 Hz because you don't really need the frequencies. Sub pad, that's from Matt, just basic, you know, Spire preset. Sub pad, yeah. Then we get to the leads. So those are the leads Matt sent me. Very asteroid sounding. I know how he made them. I think you can always ask him how it's done, but I'm just gonna tell you what I've actually done to them. So there is an LFO and shaper box. Shaper box is doing the multiband ducking here. So the high frequencies are not as sidechain as the mids, which are even less sidechain than the lows. So you will get that weird triangle that the high frequencies are actually sidechain the least, and they are the most audible. Because you are only sidechaining the very click of the kick. So it helps them move. But I thought that the sound itself is missing something, so I added this sound. And I think it's the Meta and Glide preset. Ah no, so try trance. So that's without it. Much better. We have the endless smile here. I think it's gonna be before the break, yeah. Always good before the build-up. So we have the stutter edit, which is being triggered by this MIDI note. Yep. And then we have the Fuser. Fuser is an amazing little plugin for mastering the mix. So basically, I am sidechaining it to the piano sound, which is down here. So what it does, it's gonna actually listen to the sound and it's gonna suggest an EQ, so the dominant sound, in this case the piano, will be more dominant in the mix. And it fixes the phase for the leads, which means when both the piano and the leads will be playing at the same time, they will be more in phase. And it works amazingly, like I was shocked when I was sent this over to try it out. So yeah, I'm using this all the time, especially when you are layering synths. Yeah, Fuser just works. So get on to Fuser. I think Mastering the Mix is running a deal now for Cyber Monday. And when we get to piano, this is what makes the track. Simple Serum preset, as the rush comes. But the devil is in the details, so let me show you how I actually processed it. Tape sound, soft tube, a bus processor and clipper again, delay. As you can see, the left and right delays are not syncopated to the Brit. Shaper box. And Valhalla. But for me, the best detail in this track is this little part here. When the piano builds up and the leads get, you know, with the filter cutoff, they are moving more to the background, you will hear this beautiful pum-pum just before the drop. Listen. Oh, I love it. It's like a beautiful introduction to another section. On its own, it sounds like this. Basically, pum-pum. Basic beat and an acoustic bell. But when you play it with the piano and the lead, Simple, effective. I love this track. We have 5 return channels. This is Asteroid lead send, Asteroid's widener, very simple stuff. Drum compressor for myself, which is doing this drum bass is being sent there. It's basically a parallel compressor set really aggressively, full wetness, maximum effect. A little bit mid-range fattening, saturation, and drum reverb. Again, the super plate on its lowest possible decay, and what I want to do with the drums is just to give them a little bit of extra space. Most of the samples come from different sample banks or they were recorded live, so you know, everything was done with an idea of having its own space, but for every project you want the drums to be in one space, if that makes sense. So I always send my drums to reverb, as short reverb as possible, you know, with a little bit of, you know, super high-end boost. Just cut away the low frequencies, but you can always do it with the EQ as well. This little Abbey Road trick, everything from, you know, only the mid-range basically. Kick roll here, just, you know, being affected heavily. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I would love to show you more about this track. I would love to show you how the Reese bass was made, because it's not as simple as straightforward as many producers think to make it sound as good as Asteroid can do it. But yeah, that's up to him. Same goes for the leads. But I hope that you learned something from this video. I hope that I will be able to show you more in the future, and I hope that we will make another collaboration with Asteroid, because he's one of the best trance producers I know. So that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao!